welcome back. The goal of this video is to put Ntando under the scrutiny to whether he's running Streetchef like an entrepreneur or like a technician. So Ntando, the big question, are you running Streetchef like a technician or like an entrepreneur?
I would say currently most likely like a technician, since I'm still very involved within all of the functions from marketing, operations, and not necessarily looking at them from the outside and having a system to facilitate how we get outcomes for each of the roles and the functions.
Sure. What's your understanding of the technician versus the entrepreneur?
My understanding would be that an entrepreneur is someone who's looking at everything from outside. They've established departments within the business, and the outcomes which those departments get, they achieve it through a system, if I can put it that way.
Yes. And where do you feel most of your attention is in terms of the departments of your business?
So currently I would say most likely marketing and operations.
Okay, excellent. Well, it's a good thing. As an entrepreneur, you need to identify where you naturally fit into the business, where's your strengths and your weaknesses. I think you've done that pretty well. Now it's just about switching on or flicking the switch in your mind to know that even though I'm operating in a certain section of the business, I am not the business. Okay, as an entrepreneur, you should never be the business. You are not marketing. You are an entrepreneur that can do marketing. You are not the operations and the communications. You're an entrepreneur that can do that. And I think if you just split your identity from the function, you won't get stuck in the technical box as an entrepreneur. All right, so I think just because you're explaining it and you're understanding the concept, I think you shouldn't worry about the technical box. There's some times where we need to be the technician, but never become the technician. Just be it for a moment and then get back into the entrepreneurship box. Right, so the second thing I quickly want to touch on when it comes to Entrepreneurship 101 is the 3 characteristics of entrepreneurship. So we get the dreamer, number 1. The second one is the architect, and the third one is the builder. Now, you spoke earlier in your video about the dreamer. So I would assume that as an entrepreneur, you're a dreamer and you have big dreams.
Yes.
Definitely. What are those big dreams?
Well, I believe it's in Good to Great by Jim Collins, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
He speaks about a big, hairy, audacious goal. My big, hairy, audacious goal would be, I would say, I would love to create something which would create an income opportunity or an employment opportunity for approximately 100 million people around the world. So that's,
excellent.
If I can do that by the end of my life, I feel like I would have added enough value to the world and done my part.
I think that's a big, audacious goal. That I like that. So just again, we see that an entrepreneur normally hasn't got a problem with big dreams. Another characteristic that's very important is the builder, person that works hard. Would you say that you're a builder and that you work hard?
I would say that, yes.
Definitely. Again, an entrepreneur normally don't struggle with these 2 characteristics, but the middle one's a different thing. What's your thoughts on the architect characteristic of the entrepreneur?
I would assume, I wouldn't know, that's why I'm here, that's the person that, knows the details, the ins and the outs. Judging from the term itself, architect, he designs the plan and the structure and everything within the business.
And have you managed to deal with that part of entrepreneurship on a good scale? Have you struggled with that, or where's your thoughts at?
I would say I've managed to do that from my academic point of view. So from a marketing and to some extent an operational point of view, I could probably have that sorted. But when it comes to other functions such as, accounting, finances, the management side of things, I would say I've most likely struggled.
Sure. And do you feel like you've got a plan for Streetchef for the next year, 2-3 years? Or how far is your plan stretching at this stage?
At this moment in time, I'd say we've got a plan for approximately the next 12 months.
Okay.
But I'd say 3 to 4 years, we would have to start mapping that out once we start getting close to the 12-month period.
Sure. There you have it, guys. That's where it comes to the architect. Interesting concept, the architect of the entrepreneur. Lastly, success for Streetchef. Now, we spoke about John Maxwell's definition, which says success is to know your purpose, grow to reach your maximum potential, sow positive seeds to benefit other people. What is the purpose of Streetchef?
So the purpose of Streetchef is to create income opportunities for the people in South Africa. So unemployment is a big challenge we have here in South Africa, and a lot of people associate employment with income. But there was a profound statement I heard one time Fusite Maguire made, and he mentioned that a lot of people always assume that employment is income. But if we could help people create means or ways in which they could generate an income, then employment would no longer be a problem, if I can put it that way. So that's our big goal with Streetchef, and our purpose is that, you know, we can help people create and monetize and digitize their home kitchen, be able to generate that income opportunity. Then it wouldn't be such a big problem for them to go out and look for jobs, because the jobs are going to come from, you know, people like us, entrepreneurs, who are going to help them and create opportunities for them to be able to generate an income and provide for their families and make a living.
Excellent. I would say that is an idea worth working for. When it comes to grow to reach your maximum potential, in that space as an entrepreneur, you reach a point after 5 to 10 years, or how long you ever build, where you understand this is now my maximum capacity. So the verdict is out on that. And then lastly, sowing seeds to benefit other people. Would you say that you are benefiting society with your business?
Yes.
Excellent. That is a purposeful business. That is a successful business. If you get the model to work, we will see you guys in the next video.